Hello everybody, my name is Icy Cubes and we're going to be doing something different today for this live stream. We're actually going to be doing uh, Blender, which is something that I've said that I do sometimes, like when I'm not like playing a game. And this is something that I like to do and enjoy. Mainly I was sticking to just animations in it, but I finally found a new hobby in Blender, and that would be doing photorealism stuff and modeling different things. I just made this post on my Blender forum about this picture right here. So I made this picture 2 days ago. I finished it yesterday, posted it yesterday, and I got a few comments like what I can do better and different things. So I've been messing around with that, trying to make it better in some ways. I'm really happy how it turned out because the first one that I did for something like this, I basically followed a tutorial. And this one I did all by hand, that's why it's not that great. But again, this one right here is the other one I made. But I did a few different things for this, like for the towel, that wasn't something that was in the tutorial. The soap dispenser right here, which is probably my favorite thing that I did. I actually didn't model the faucet right there because I really didn't know where to start, but I think now, like, if I go back to this project, I can do it. We got the mirror, the window, the lamps, yeah, the little shampoo bottles, the faucet, or like the thing that you would turn on for the shower. There's water like on the door, like it was just used. But basically, with this one, with the other one I did, I don't know how real it looks. Like, it kind of looks real, but then there's something about it that looks fake. But I like this one because it's like in between. It's not super real, it's not super fake. The only thing I did was, this was the original one, the final render, which kind of looks real because of the noise. But I basically went in the Photoshop on this one. Or this is the, no. Oh wait, yeah, oh. I went in the Photoshop on this one to reduce the noise, and that's why everything's like smoothed out. And this is kind of gray. And this one I did with 1,000 samples, and you can see the colors. So basically, all I wanted to do in this tutorial was show you how to model the couch, because it was a nice couch and I liked making it. It was fun. So just follow along if you want to learn how to make a couch. Like, this is going to be up for a video, so if you just want to watch how to make a couch like this, like I said, it's not hard. This is actually simple. Everything in this whole scene is simple. The plant was just put no effort. Well, I put a lot of effort into it, but like no effort at the same time, because all I did was extrude a plane and make this like sort of shape and just turn it green. And from a distance, it looks real. The blanket, that part, yeah. We might do that in this tutorial. Maybe in the future we'll try and just remake the scene. If you want, tell me in the comments. Like the whole sky aspect, like right here, the reflection on here, that looks real. The wiping on the floor, that part looks real. I couldn't find a texture for the couch. So yeah, let's jump into this and we can just try it out. So if you've never used Blender before, then just try and follow along if you want to. I actually don't have the screencast keys, so let me just download those real quick. I think I know how to install these. Let me just click on this little video just so I can get the link. I think you just put it in your add-ons folder. So where is it? Download. Oh yeah, so I think you just copy this whole page, Control C, and then let me go to my desktop real quick. Sorry, this shouldn't take that long. Text document, screen, and then let me go paste. I hope I'm doing this right, or I'll just do it in the next one. Save as, let me make it an other. PY, and then that should have saved to my desktop. I think it did. Did it? Okay, yeah, okay, so then I think we go here. So if you don't know how to install like add-ons that aren't in here, click that. And then find wherever you have it. Hey, look at that, I did it right. So I guess I just remembered that from the last time I did it. Start, okay, yeah, that worked. Can I make it a little bit bigger? Maybe 50. Maybe do this. Yeah, just so you can see it. Okay. Can we move it up a little bit? No, okay, whatever, it's fine. So basically, if you don't know how to move around in the like viewport, what you're gonna want to do is basically just look down here. You press the middle mouse, the wheel, you push down on it, and it will start to turn like once you move your mouse, and you're basically good on that. Everything else will come up, so like you'll see it there. So if I press a key, like if I press W right there, it'll come up. But let's get started in this. We're gonna get in a circle first. So we're gonna make like the legs for the couch, as you saw with underneath. Right here we have these legs. They're really simple. Anybody can basically make them. You can make them any way you want. They're not that hard, so I'll just give you like a general idea. So you want to start off with a circle, and you're gonna scale it down, I would say 0.5. And then go in the edit mode, make sure you're on vertices, so that you don't like you can't extrude if you're on like edge mode or faces. So make sure you're on the vertices, have everything selected, and then hit E and then Z, and then you're gonna have this. So this is what's called extruding, and you're gonna extrude again and scale in. So I'm gonna go with like a type of leg that has like this sort of type of effect to it. Looks pretty even. Doesn't have to be perfect. So we can adjust this a little bit, like make this a little bit higher. Oop. We're gonna need to select that, and then just pull it up. And then if you want, you can extrude again, scale in, and then maybe up one more. So that's basically just a simple leg. Now you're probably thinking like it looks like total crap, and it does. Everything that I create, I put on smooth texturing. It just makes it have like just a little bit more of like an appealing look to it. I'm just gonna fill that bottom in. Now it still kind of looks stupid, so and I don't mean that in like the texturing sense, I mean just in general. So let me just add this. Maybe do something like No, I did something wrong with this. So, with the stream, I'm gonna make a few mistakes, so just forgive me. That's why I streamed instead of making a video, because of all the mistakes I make. So, like I said, just do it how you want to do it. You don't have to make it exactly the same. If you want to, you can. But I'm not the greatest at some of this stuff. Let's scale it out, extrude up, and then I'm gonna do it one more time. Maybe something. Okay, that's not that bad. That looks good. So that's basically our leg. So it looks like a squished plunger or something. I don't know. So right now we're gonna go to this. I'm gonna try a bevel on this with 4 segments. So this is gonna like lower your render time, but there's a lot of things you can do to increase your render time. So don't worry about that. If you have a GPU, then your render time, don't even worry one bit, because that will just go by real fast. What does 0.4 look like? That looks nice. So I'm gonna apply that. Add the subsurface modifier. Put it on 2. So this is gonna add. Oh, I didn't want to apply that actually. This is gonna add more like geometry to the whole mesh, which means it will look a little bit better. So now what we're gonna do is add a loop cut right here. Wait, we don't need that bevel. So add that loop cut again. This will help you smooth everything out. Sorry, my voice sounds like so dead right now. So pull it there again. Oh, didn't want to put that one there. See, when I first looked at the whole modeling process, I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. And I finally just put my mind to it and just said, you know what, I'm going to try. It doesn't hurt. So I tried, and I actually had a good result. So, you know, you just got to put points here and there, and it will all come together if you just picture it in your head. So that looks pretty good, just without looking at any reference or anything. Now what we're gonna do, I have all these little presets made already. So if you don't have, like, I just have these, I got rid of all the default. You can hit like compositing, I think is like the one, or you can just pull these little things over, but I'm gonna go into my node one. Gonna go to a rendered view right here, and now we can just see the whole texture itself. So let me add a texture here. Let's zoom it over. We don't need to UV unwrap this. If you have watched Blender tutorials before, usually you would UV unwrap, but we're in cycles, which is the only thing I use. Like, I never use the Blender render, just because of all the cool little things that you can do with cycles and texturing and rendering. So you get like a better like effect, I guess, with it. Now with this, you want to make these glossy. So I'm just gonna say, let me just make this like leg, so we don't lose textures. Let me name this. There we go. Now if you pull this bar up, you're gonna get rid of all the reflections, and if you pull it down, you're gonna get like a super mirror looking thing. So I'm gonna try a 0.05, and that already looks good. Now I don't want it to look like it's yeah, see, this is why I usually use a diffuse with this, because it mellows it down. It makes it look like a more natural like looking type of material. I think that will work for like a metal type leg. That's what I'm going for, I guess. But let's go back to our, oh, I hit the wrong thing. Let's go back to this view, get out of orthographic. I don't even know why I was in it. Yeah, so there we go. We got this leg done. Simple. So now we're gonna go to something that's gonna be a little bit harder. So I'm just gonna go on a different layer right here. Now, this will be just a little bit confusing, but I'm gonna try and go through this as easily as I can. So this is gonna, like I said, for beginners, this is gonna seem a little overwhelming, but once you do a lot of these types of things, it gets easier by time and just knowing what you're doing. I'm not a pro at it. It's just that I want to start doing more types of things like this. So basically, we're going for like this type of effect. Honestly, I don't know how I did it so well on this. Like, I honestly think I did a great job. But I feel like every time I try and remake it, it looks like trash. But what I'm gonna do is open a image, or the UV image editor over here, and I'm gonna drag this picture in that I have over here. And this is basically like a couch that I was going for, and this is what I used for my reference. But I'm gonna bring this picture in as well. I didn't select it, just so I can see what I did in this one. Mainly directed over here because I want to see the whole arm. But basically, this is like what the couch is, almost like identical. I tried to go similar, but what we're gonna do here is go in the edit mode again, and we're gonna just actually, before we go in the edit mode, let's scale this on the x-axis and make it like skinnier this way, so it looks more like an arm in GZ1, so we get it up to here. And I think we can just keep it at this height. Doesn't look like it's that high. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a loop cut, and this is where the bottom leg is gonna be. And well, actually, before I go on, let me just open this. This is the folder or one that I had it in. So here's the couch. Let's just take like a quick look at it. Yeah, so basically I'm on the right path. That's all it is. If I move this out of the way, you can see that I just set these cushions on it. If you wanted to know how I did that, we're gonna go over that too, so don't worry. So basically what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull this back, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this back just a little bit. We don't want to go too far back, because this is what the back of the couch is gonna be. So when I extrude this way, so I'm gonna be on the X, I'm gonna go 2, extrude X 2, and then we're gonna do one more, extrude X 2. So basically what I didn't do the first time is I made 4 seats, and they're actually not even, so that's why I put that pillow there, just to make it look like there was no gap, which wasn't the best idea. So, and then we're gonna go and extrude this. Let's go on the right view, just try and pull this. Perfect, I think. Wait, I accidentally hit the wrong thing. There we go, that's perfect. So now we got basically the couch done. One thing I noticed first is this right here. So I need to move this in. This is it's just way too thick. Okay, there we go. I think that looks good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a loop cut here in the center face, and then select this. So now, since we line these up, we're basically fine on this. I do the same thing. Go 2. Let's get out of this again. 2 and 2. So now we basically, I don't know why I just hit D. We basically got this, and now we're gonna make like this little piece right here. So extrude on Y, and then let's say 1.5, or negative 1.5. And there we go. We basically have the frame of the couch. Like, it doesn't look as good. Like I said, I don't know why I can't like copy this. It's just so weird. The only thing I could think to pull this back, this whole like. Just let me pull this back right here. That's gonna have to include this. Dang it. Select like the whole thing. And then we can pull it back. And then the next thing that I want to do is, I think, this is just a little too high. We're going to lower it just a tad. And there we go. Now that's starting to, yeah, that makes sense. Looks good now. So now we're going to make the cushions. I'm going to keep it on the same layer since we need to use the couch as a reference. Again, we're going to use a cube. And let's go into 1.5. Actually, we can't do that because we can't see the whole thing with that. And then let's pull it over to the corner. We'll mess with where it's positioned just a bit. I'm actually going to go in the edit mode to pull this back so we don't have to scale it and then reposition it again. So let's pull this down. I would say about like right there. Cushion. Yeah, and then basically we can just extrude 2 and then extrude. Oh, what did I just do there? Okay, there we go. I didn't hit enter. And then there we go. So basically that's the cushions almost done. So before we move on here, after we just modeled everything, we have everything done. What we're gonna do now is actually put a bevel on the frame of the couch. And I would say again like 0.4. And we're gonna smooth the texturing of it. And I'm just gonna see what a subsurf modifier looks like. You know what? I should just go back in here. I don't remember all these things offhand. So let me just go back again, and the couch is a bevel, and it has a collision because it was colliding for the blanket. So I'm just gonna keep that open just to like see where I'm at. And this one is just five segments. What the heck? No wonder it takes so long to render. Yeah, and that's basically it for that. See, that seems a little too smooth, because when I look at this picture, I see something more like square. And I think actually 0.0, the higher the number, the more like curve it has. So just wanted to say that first. I'm basically trying to eyeball it, and I think that's pretty good, because when you look at this, like, it has like that bend to it. So I think that's, I don't know why I just hit Q. That's pretty good. Actually better than what I did on the other one. So now we're gonna go and do the cushions. So first things first, we're gonna get the subsurf modifier on here. And yes, it's gonna look like really weird first, so don't worry. I'm gonna get this fixed. So yeah, that could be a couch in itself. If you want to go really simplistic, then that would work by itself right there. Now we're gonna go add a bevel right there, put it on 2 segments, and basically now we're gonna just fix this up so it doesn't look weird. So we're gonna pull this. Now this is all starting to make sense again for me when I did this. Like, I can picture myself doing it again. We're gonna put that there, put that there, put this here, mine, that there, that. We're gonna move this one, nope. That one a little bit over. Basically, we almost have the shape of it. To pull this. And I would say, move that back a little bit actually. We want to keep that curve. And then I would say we're basically there. Now, might be wondering, okay, yes, we got the couch done. Now, what about the nooks and crannies of the couch? And the way you just set this up, and I just set this up, it's super simple. So, first thing you're going to want to do is, let me just, like, square up these edges just a tad bit. So there we go. Now we got, like, more of, like, a normal looking couch. There we go. So you're like, how do we get the nooks and crannies in here, and where the cushions make sense and look natural and real? Well, actually, like I said, it's really easy. So the first thing you're gonna want to do here is actually, oh wait, here, I just got a comment. I don't know when this is. I will, yeah, actually, that's fine. I don't care. Like, I'll go check it out. Here we go. So, like I was saying, is, if you know what to do, you should have already done it by now. But if you don't know what to do, here's just a quick little explanation. Hold Alt, click right here. See, it doesn't show when you click Alt, and Shift Alt right there. And now what we're going to do is scale on the Z-axis. Just bring it down. It's going to start to take its form. And as you can see right there, it just looks like normal. So, I don't know why I keep doing this. Stop. Okay, let me just. So you scale on the Z-axis, or Z. Wow, I'm turning English. And then do it on the Y. And then you're gonna get that formation of like cushions, I guess. So we got that all situated. Now what I want to do is move these apart a little bit so we don't have that weird layer like getting on top of itself. That one worked a little bit better than this one over here because the whole thing with this piece right here makes it a little bit harder. So I'm actually going to add another loop cut right there. Z, and then I'll click that. Yeah, this is just something you can mess around with by yourself, because of the fact that it really does get a little tricky right here. I noticed this is getting messed up right here, so let me go in the wireframe. Can't really see anything. Here we go. This is what I wanted to fix. Get out of this mode. And just for while we're doing this, we're gonna get this out of the way, and then go into vertices mode. And I would recommend pulling this down just a tad, and then you get that normal look again. Now you can do a lot of tweaking with this, and like right there, like this is like really showing that it's a connected piece. So that's right there. That's a simple fix. Just select these two vertices right there, pull them back, and bam. And if you're gonna do a camera view from like right here, like I did in my shot, you don't have to worry. I would say wherever your camera is, put the long piece like right in the front like I did here, because it will eliminate that view. And this is like, if you've done a lot of stuff with Blender and any animation software, you'll know that looking or perspective changes everything in these. So I just wanted to say that real quick. So let me move this back to that layer. And basically that's everything with the couch. The only last things we have are like the little backs of the couch and texturing it. I'm gonna try and do that pretty fast because it's like 10 o'clock Eastern time, and I wanted to start sleeping by now. But let's just finish this up. Again, we're gonna use a cube. The couch is basically a cube. We're gonna scale this down by just hitting S. Scaling that over. And let's just position this again. Pull it down. Now with this, what you're going to want to do is have it above the whole frame, because it will make it look more like stylish, I guess, in a way. So we're going to pull this over there. Seems good enough. And pull this up. I would say about to like that, because these couches are actually not like a real cushion in the back. They're actually like a pillow that can be moved. I don't own one personally, but I know because I've seen them before. But what we're gonna want to do real quickly is scale these just in tiny bits, so when we extrude or when we duplicate over, they're not connected, because you want that realistic look to them. So I just wanted to say that real quick. So basically we're going to add a bevel. So you're going to do what the cushions are, or actually do what the cushions are. Subsurf modifier, smooth texturing again, put it on 2. Basically, if you're going to make any type of model, other than a human, if you're doing a character, an animal, human, anything like that, you're going to want to do more than 2. But for objects, I would recommend 2, because it's not as like high resolution, and you'll save like some render speed. Then what we're going to do is just add the bevel, like I accidentally did at first, and just leave it just default, because this is what I found was the best. So as you see, you have like some futuristic like pillow or something that's floating. And we're gonna add some loop cuts again, like we did with the cushion. So pull those over and then pull them down, and you basically got like a rounded type of pillow type thing. Now I don't know what's going on here, because like seriously, these types of weird like texturing glitches didn't happen when I did this the first time. So just pull it out so that they're gone. Now if you want to get more of like that like curve look, then I would recommend, say, put one here and scaling in like this. You get like the curve, it kind of looks real, but if you want to even go a little bit further into detail, go up here, and then same thing, go down here. Just make it like line up. It doesn't look that bad. You can do a lot more with it. I'm just doing this pretty fast. Pull these out like this. Basically like something like that. But I'm just gonna leave it kind of like an hourglass type shape, like a long hourglass. And then all you need to do, I keep doing that because just Shift D, gonna duplicate, just eyeball it, I guess. Actually, the other thing we need to do is just pull these down. Again, you're gonna Shift D and just pull it over. So now, I don't really like the whole idea of these, but I was just showing for an example. I'm just gonna have like a mild type one. Now they're not going to be even, but I don't care. I already completed mine, so pull it out, and then there we go. Now, if you want to add pillows, they're basically these. When I did my pillows, I literally duplicated the whole thing right there and just scaled it down. So if you want to do that for like a homework type thing, you can, because I'm gonna like do another tutorial for like the table and stuff. This is just gonna be like a type of tutorial type thing. We can do the floor, but now the last thing we have are the legs. Now you can see they're a little too big, but we're gonna scale these down. So I'm gonna scale all the way down because I don't want them to look. Okay, my phone's going crazy. Okay, so just gonna scale them down, just like there. Pull them out a little bit. Now, the way I made these is so that I can pull it up to anywhere. So I would say there, and let's see what that looks like actually. Get rid of that. We'll do texturing for the couch again in like the next stream. That doesn't look that bad. Like we didn't get the texture of the couch. I thought I was gonna have more time, but again, we're just gonna duplicate and we're gonna pull these in the middle. Duplicate, pull it into the corner. Something about this one that needs to be pulled over a little bit more. And then duplicate. Basically, on all the corners, you're just going to want to put these there. I really don't like these legs. I kind of like the other ones that I did, so I might copy those over. Like I said, you don't have to copy the legs because I just did those pretty fast. Like the other legs that I did, I put more time into. They were just, it was because when I made that whole scene, I wanted to make it to look nice. And they're actually really simple, so we might change these, and I might do it on camera to show how I did those ones because they just look realistic in a way. These ones I feel like they just look stupid. So we're just gonna do like a quick little render. Let me. I'm gonna keep these settings a little bit low, but I'm gonna change the sample. Where is it? Sample. I'm gonna put this to say 200 just for this little test render. And then we're just gonna do Control B so we're not rendering the whole thing. And then Shift Z. Oh. Shift Z. And then let's see what this looks like. Yeah, the legs are a little too big. They're out of place. So, like I said, I'm going to change those. I might tweak them, like, when I wake up tomorrow. Just do a few little minor things on them. And yeah, I hope this helped. Like, I'm going to do a part 2 on texturing the couch and maybe showing how I do the new legs. And maybe start the table. So, basically, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next stream. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.